All right, today is the big day. This is the FOMC meeting press conference that's going to be happening in a couple of hours where Jerome Powell will be talking to the press and talking about the outlook of rate cuts. Okay. I said yesterday that it's pretty much solidified that we're not going to get a rate cut this month. But according to the CME Watch tool, it is still in favor of a rate cut in September. Let's take a look at the watch tool right now. Okay. Let's refresh this because it does change on a day to day. We're looking at September right now, okay? That is still in favor of a rate cut, and that is still above 60% the last time I saw. Why is this important? Because I think the market is going to be pricing that in based on the probabilities of a rate cut. Okay, so for today, we have an ease probability of 3%. Okay, that's not going to happen, in my opinion. For the next one, okay, now it's actually changed from yesterday. It's actually just right underneath 58% here. So this is gonna be the one that I'm gonna be watching out for, especially as we approach September. I know that there's gonna be quite a bit of things that could happen before then, including a potential crypto surge based on the trading patterns I've been pointing out to you guys. If you guys been following my channel, you guys should know. Um, this is the big day. Okay. I am not over leveraged right now. I trade leverage, I trade spots, but I am not over leveraged right now. I'm just making sure that I'm covering. I have enough margin to cover my leverage positions because I've seen liquidations and the volatilities that could happen while Jerome Powell could speak. After this meeting, I think we're gonna get a lot more clarity, and I think Bitcoin here is about to do something because we've been in a very tight range, and when something runs within a very tight range, something explosive is about to happen. Okay, and why I think that this is more likely going to be a move to the upside is because the patterns I am seeing on Bitcoin. And why is Bitcoin important? Because it is still the driver of this market, even though the dominance has been falling, but we're still Bitcoin dominance is still at over 61%. Okay, that is still quite high. Okay. Not until Bitcoin gets the next up move here, I don't think the altcoins are gonna be, uh, following along, right? So this is what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. I've been talking about this pattern. And we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into it, but this pattern right here, we are running within a very tight range for the past. It's been tighter, okay, even for the past 3 days, as you guys can see here, okay. But first of all, let's get into some news. We're also gonna be talking about some altcoins later, which will include DEGEN, right? I know you guys want to see DEGEN, some of these smaller altcoins, Aether, that's ATH, as well as I think the next one is going to be ANKR Network Token ANKR. Okay, so we're going to get into that later in this video, usually after the 10-minute mark. But right now, let's go ahead and take a look into some news. Okay, first piece of news here, it's by Crypto Potato. Bitcoin bulls I 141K, but this key range must break first. I agree. I still do see a probability of a hike to over 140, right? That is more probable, right? Of course, the downside risks also have to consider as well, because if Bitcoin dumps, that could dump the altcoins as well. Okay. And this key range is the range that we're in right now. I think, at least that's what I'm reacting to. Okay, that's my first thought is that we're in this very tight range, getting ready to do something here. Okay, and I think the move is more likely going to be an up move. All right, let's take a look into the next piece here. Is going to be by Crypto News. Ethereum perp volume crushes Bitcoin for the first time since 2022. Can BlackRock buying spree push Ethereum past 4,000? I think 4,000 where Ethereum is basically within sight. I think Ethereum is going to crush 4,000 in this bull cycle, and I think this bull cycle is still on, right? Since Bitcoin has broken through that 110K all-time high. Not too long ago, but it's been slow. It's probably one of the slower uh breakouts here that I'm seeing. Still some mixed signals on the monthly time frame, on the weekly time frame now as well. On the RSI, especially, there's bearish divergence, something to be keeping an eye out on. But there has been exceptions. I pointed out December 2020 monthly time frame, bearish divergence invalidated. October 2017, bearish divergence invalidated. Those were two of the biggest breakouts. Okay. All right. Next piece here is gonna be by Crypto Potato. Bitcoin price analysis. Bitcoin consolidation persists. Here's what could trigger a breakout. I think what could trigger a breakout is just the end of this FOMC meeting and until the market gets more clarity. From my observation is that, you know, usually a day or two before the press conference, there's usually nothing really going on. More likely than not. Okay, and we're seeing that right now. I think it's just we're just waiting for some type of outlook and clarity from the Fed here. So very important to be paying attention to this. All right. The next piece here is by the block. Bitcoin steadies near 118K as analysts see Fed holding rates again. Yes, like I said, it's more likely that they're gonna be holding rates based on the CME watch tool. Okay. But that is not really what the market is looking for, in my opinion. Of course, this video is just purely my opinions and not financial advice. Okay, you gotta do your own research, but I do think that what the market is looking for is more clarity on the outlook versus the rate action that's going to be happening this month, because this month is pretty much set in stone. Okay, 3% of an ease, that's basically, I mean, yeah, we're not going to get a rate cut. So the market already knows that based on the CME watch tool. Okay. All right, next piece here. I don't have the fifth piece of news here, so I picked something from the idea section, which I would find interesting in TradingView. If you guys don't have TradingView, use my affiliate link in the description section below. If you guys are trading without TradingView, very dangerous. I mean, it's just, I mean, you gotta learn, right? You gotta learn how to chart, and the best way to do it is with TradingView. Use my affiliate link in the description section below. I will get a commission if you sign up, and that supports my channel. But this is an idea by by someone who a trader who posts on TradingView. Okay, and you find quite a bit of these ideas. Okay, this is basically um, telling you mastering buy side and sell side liquidity, how to trade it. So what's being talked about here is a double top pattern. This is on the left side, which is usually a bearish pattern. You see the break here, right? This is basically what it's trying to convey. And this is a double bottom pattern, which is basically an inverted double top pattern, which tells you that it's going to break back to the upside more likely. Okay, so something to be just paying attention to, especially if you guys are in here trading for the long term. I have a long term mindset on trading. I've been trading for over 5+ years. I plan to do this for as long as I live. Really, or as long as I'm still interested in trading. But I still love trading, and I can see myself doing this in the long term, and I have a long term mindset on this. Now let's go ahead and take a look into what could be happening here. Give me 1 second. What could be happening here with Bitcoin? Let's dive into the charts real quick. Now, daily time frame. Okay, we're in this very tight range. I talked about this falling wedge pattern breakout here. That's probably more validated on the 12-hour time frame for the 3 candle touches on the bottom trend line. But we are. It looks like we had a breakout. A little bit of a head fake, but it's still undecided right now, and I'll tell you why. Because we're not getting either a solid candle close above this upper trend line, nor a solid candle close below this upper trend line. That tells me it's still undecided. Okay, even though we do have a break above this upper trend line here, could it be a head fake? It could, right? So something to be looking out for. If this was a fake out, the next key support I'll be looking at would be the 12-hour 50 SMA, which is, it's come a pretty long way up here now. It's about 116.7. Okay, so that's the next key support here. If that does not hold, then we're going to be looking at further moving averages, probably the 4-hour 200 SMA, right? So that is basically what I'm looking at, and let's take a look into the smaller time frame, where we also have another falling wedge pattern here I talked about yesterday. Okay, this is also important because it's getting really tight. Okay, we've already had a couple swings in this falling wedge pattern, and the channel is getting tighter. Something to be keeping an eye out on. I do think there's going to be a resolution here or a move here coming very soon, especially after this FOMC meeting. Let's go ahead and go to the next. Let's go to DEGEN. Okay, this is the altcoin. Let's see what has happened here since the last time I've talked about it. DEGEN currently trading at about 0.3865 cents. Okay, let's take a look into weekly time frame. Has anything changed? I'm gonna wait for trading view to load here. Seems to be a little slow. All right, so I've talked about this weekly time frame. Okay, why is this weekly time frame important now? Because, well, it could come up here to about that 0.9 cents level. It still hasn't formed a cup and handle yet. This is one of the cup and handles that could be happening, but it hasn't happened yet. Hypothetical situation. Okay, at that 0.9 cents resistance, if DEGEN can come back up here to retest that. Of course, the bigger cup and handle would be this big one right here. If this bull cycle, if and when this bull cycle continues, it's going to be about that 3.5 cents area, which is quite some way from here now. But this is a smaller altcoin. It could pump pretty quickly, okay, if it does, right? Now let's take a look into the daily time frame. I talked about the daily time frame last time too. Falling wedge pattern, okay, broke out of here to the upside, which the probability is usually in favor of. Uh, Price target would have been about 0.55 cents. Price targets, okay, what has it done since? Okay, it broke out back in July 2nd. It hasn't quite reached its price target, but it has also formed a rising wedge pattern when it hit that daily 200 SMA. And then getting a rejection. Now, breakdown target I mentioned to you guys was about 0.36 cents. Okay. Now, basically, it has went all the way down to that price target almost to the T here. What could be happening with DGEM right now? Is it going to continue downwards, or is it more likely to reverse from here? I'm going to zoom into a smaller time frame to get some more clarity. The 12-hour time frame here, this is a double bottom, and remember from that idea just earlier, double bottoms are usually bullish patterns. Okay, the neckline of this double bottom here would be about 0.48 cents. There is bullish divergence as well on the RSI, which usually tells you it's going to reverse as well. So when you put more reversal indicators together that tells you the same thing, then it's more likely that it's going to, reverse, right? So this is basically what I'm looking at, and if DGEN is able to break out of this double bottom pattern, the price target would be about 0.6, just about 0.6 cents price range. Okay, so this is basically what I'm seeing for DGEN. Of course, a lot of this is going to depend on Bitcoin. Okay, if Bitcoin starts dumping, these altcoin setups, they're not going to matter. Okay. I am long on Bitcoin and quite a bit of these altcoins here, so my opinion on this market is still bullish, but I'll tell you guys when I change my opinion. And of course, why. Alright, let's go ahead and go to ANKR Network and see what's happening in this coin here. Alright, weekly time frame. weekly time frame, I talked about a falling wedge pattern. Excuse me. Falling wedge pattern, huge falling wedge pattern, which you guys would probably see amongst quite a bit of these altcoins. They have been beaten down for the past year or even more. This price target for this huge falling wedge pattern on the weekly time frame, if it breaks to the upside, is going to give ANKR about a 10.5 cents price target. Now, of course, got to consider the downside as well. I've seen falling wedge patterns break down. Okay, just gotta consider those scenarios. It is currently at the weekly 21 SMA, trying to stay above that at about that 1.7 cents. If it does not stay above that, it could still come back down here to retest about that 1.3 cents price level. Okay. So this is basically what I'm seeing for ANKR. Let's take a look into a smaller time frame, daily time frame, see if I can get any more clarity. All right, daily time frame. This looks like a falling wedge pattern again. Okay. And the price target out of this one would be about 2.1 cents price target if it breaks out by this point, for example. Daily 200 SMA is coming into it's coming towards the price action that could be acting as resistance. All right, let's go ahead and go to Aether, see what's going on with ATH. I've talked about this coin some time ago, so this would be, it should be pretty new, okay, since we haven't talked about it for a while. Now, I do want to mention that I have updated my charts, right? There was a falling wedge pattern I pointed out here the last time I talked about it. That thing broke down, okay? Like I said, even though falling wedges or these bullish patterns usually break to the upside, that is just by probability. It's not 100%, okay? There's still a chance it breaks down. If I'm trading this, I will account for all scenarios, okay? Including fake outs, including breakdowns, including breakouts that flop, that does not reach its price targets. All right, so since the last time, I am pointing out a falling wedge pattern that I'm spotting now, okay? That's probably more visible on the daily time frame, right? On the daily time frame, right here, that has formed since June of 2024. Okay, it's been running within this extensive downtrend here. And what are we seeing now is, okay, if this falling wedge pattern actually breaks to the upside, which it usually does, the price target here, you take the opening of the pattern, and then you put it in on top of a estimated breakout point, let's just say right here, for example, that would give Aether a price target of about 13.5 cents. Price targets are estimates only. It could be more or less. Very much depends on the market. There is a possible double bottom scenario here within this falling wedge pattern on the weekly time frame. So this is huge with bullish divergence. The price targets for this double bottom pattern would take Aether out of this falling wedge pattern here, so about that 0.9, about 9.1 cents there. Okay, so that is something I'm seeing. Let's take a look into the next one. We are at a time constraint. Okay. Next one here is actually we've done it all. Okay, ANKR, DEGEN, and Aether. Okay, so excuse me. All right, that basically wraps it up for this video. If you guys want to continue seeing any more of these coins, make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.